everybody, and welcome to my new series where we're going to be playing as Great Britain. We're going to be playing as actual Great Britain. We're going to go down the fascist tree instead of playing as the United Kingdom, so we're going to straight away go for a change of course. So, world tension mounts. It's clear our current political leadership is incapable of protecting the nation's interests. Time has come for a drastic departure from politics of the last few decades. Man, that'll take 35 days. So we'll do the usual starting stuff, grabbing the industry, grabbing the engineering for the research speed, and then with that last one, we'll maybe tanks? Yeah, we'll research tanks. So we're going to go for some like super divisions because you can get a really good industry as Britain. So we'll also start off by just queuing up some civilian factories and then grabbing all of our divisions, sticking it in one army route for now, and straight down the middle, just to get it all there. We're also then going to grab our entire navy and move every single one straight to London, which will link them all together. Alright, then we'll grab everything that's not on a ship as far as the Air Force goes, and we'll just disband it so we have full use of every aircraft available that isn't on a carrier. All the stuff on carriers, that's fine, we can leave that. So, disband, stick it back in the stockpile. Done, that's our Air Force, Navy and Ground Forces ready. Factories are pretty much accounted for. We're going to leave these. The naval stuff we'll deal with in a second. We'll do this stuff. So we need rifles, of course. Stick another in artillery. And one more in each of the planes. Okay. Then we'll deal with the Navy production, which should be nice and simple. So basically, just get rid of all this, because we don't need any of this. We're going to go convoys and destroyers. So we'll have one line of destroyers, the rest on convoys. Just to pump out some basic ships and pump up our numbers. Honestly, Britain starts off with such a huge navy that if you play your cards right, you shouldn't really need much more than what you start with. Against the AI anyway. Obviously if you're playing against players in multiplayer, very different. You need all sorts of stuff, but against the AI, our starting fleet is already, I believe, the biggest in the world. I think America might have a navy in comparison. Japan has a sort of strong one, but I'm pretty sure Britain is like the number one at this point. Not by a lot, mind you, but they are. So war propaganda, naval treaties, support China, resources, we'll just drop all that out the way because this is the only one we want to worry about. We want to get these two. German and Italian scientists. Although, in saying that, normally I do that for the extra 10%, but it does say instantly removes if you're not democratic, which I've never realised, which means not much point in me doing that, honestly, because all it does is hurt my stability for a very short-term gain, because we're not going to be democratic for long. Alright. So, up to 5 speed. We don't have to make any decisions right now, so we can go. We'll let all of our stuff, transport itself back to Britain. All of our ships, all of our men. Alright, cool, so that's all coming in. And that should be finished shortly, so we got like 10 more days on that. King George V has died, unfortunately. So King Edward the 9th, that's the 9th, right? 5, 6, 7, no, it's the 8th, Edward the 8th, that's right. So he comes into power now. Unfortunately, he hurts our stability. But that's alright, we won't have him for long. Oh yeah, and keep time running. So, that's our start. Like, you don't have to go super crazy, it's just a good way to set it all up, get it all running. So there we go, change of course, so now we'll gain political power and war support until 4th of February 37, and we'll lose democratic support. Now we're going to organise the black shirts. The success of the British Union of Fascists depends on its public image. We can show our movement the spirit of unity and personal strength by holding military-inspired marches throughout the country. We will attract more followers while also cowing the opposition into inaction. The eventual goal will be to march on Dowling Street itself. So there you go, that's how you start the process of becoming fascist. It's actually really cool with the Britain one, how they did it. I mean, the other way to do it is the King's Party, which is not fascism, so that's how you go non-aligned. You put the king back in charge and become a proper monarchy. It's interesting. It's not, I feel, as good as the fascist path. I feel like that's by far the most powerful, but it is pretty good. What do you get? You get reassess continental commitment. Basically, you get the same stuff. So, like, it is just as powerful. It's just that you're not fascist. So you don't get to do this style of taking power. I think it's a little bit slower to take power. You do get a cool thing with the king, though. Like, I probably will do a few Britain series at some point. We'll do fascist for now. But, we'll come back, because like, I would like to try out the communist path again, because at one point I tried it and I didn't like it, but maybe I did it wrong? I don't know. But also the non-aligned path, good fun as well. So we're going to go improve machine tools. Also early mobilization, because we can apparently get that. What's this decision it's telling me? Oh, naval conference, who cares? Although, we could also do this. It lowers our output, but that doesn't really matter right now. We'll take that, just because it gives us extra stability. Hold anti-German speech, weekly plus 2% stability, because we're about to need a lot of stability. Basically, we have to throw these marches, which we'll start doing. Mosley speaks out for the German people. Peaceful march in the Scottish Highlands. Cool. But you lose a little bit of stability every time you do it. But you gain a bit of fascism. Which is the thing. If you go below 50%, a civil war will be enacted. So we're going to go across. So what's this do? Gains base stability plus 10%. Probably better off doing that later. As much as I want that. We'll go across and we'll get this one just for the extra factories. We'll save our PP now because we're going to be using it for this stuff. So the worst case scenario is 5%, so that's easy. Violent march, okay, so that was 5%. So now we'll urge restraint, so the next one won't be violent, limiting how bad it will be. Yep, now research tank destroyers. Go back over here and do construction level 2. Back to decisions. Let's do Northern Ireland. Black shirts march in Northern Ireland. March in Northern Ireland, we lose another 5%. Urge restraint. And go for black shirts march on Lanark? I don't even know what that is. Go for the worst case scenario there, which we can't get because we already urged restraint, right? Yeah, okay, so the worst we can get is medium 14%, which we'll be able to live through. So we'll do that. So we march through Sussex. 14%, that drops us to 51%. So now we need to stop for a little bit. Let our stability build back up. Let our PP build back up. We'll actually spend that so we don't get a violent march. So yeah, while our stability goes up, you see what we've done so far is we've got ourselves up to 16 or 17% fascist. Now, we can't get the fascist demagogue, unfortunately, because that would help, but we can't do that. Also research the light tank 2s and construct, concentrated industry. Alright, so we're up to 61%. So the worst case scenario here would be 10%. Yeah, we can live through that. Abdication crisis. Edward VIII has stepped down. That's alright, so we'll go... Worst case is 9%, we can live through that. Peaceful march on northern England. So... Urge restraint so it doesn't go violent. And a peaceful march there, with the worst outcome being 10.2. Peaceful again, that's another 5% fascism. Urge restraint, and hold anti-German speeches so we can get more stability. So how we go? We're up to 26%. We need to get it up to 55 is the problem. So we'll march. We'll do this march, I think, in Wales. With urge restraint, so worst possible case is 10%. So we're up to 60%. Alright, so let stability build up for a little bit longer. We just got the civilian factories. So let's go straight into the shadow scheme. Which, by the way, what does that actually do? Grants 4 build slots and 4 military factories in a total of 2 states when entering a wartime. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. We'll take that. Apparently we have an extra factory, which is good, because we want to start building at least one on heavy tank destroyers. Just so we can build some. It won't be many, but it'll be some. Alright, now stability's back up to 70%, so urge restraint. Ooh, in the worst case there will be 16%, which would drop us below... Yeah, we'll wait till our stability goes up a bit higher. Worst case for that one's 26%, so we'd need what? We need at least 76%, so we'll let it go up to 80, and then it should be okay. Man, I really want to take some of that stuff, but we can't. %. Alright. Then do another speech so that we get more stability. Oh, we're very close now, 45%. So like we'll probably have to do like one more march, and then we can march on the capital. So let's go this one for the 2 times industrial boost, and then we can get the research slots. And that'll give our economy a real nice bonus. I mean, look at this. We've already pretty much built civilian factories right through all of that. Put a second factory here on heavy tank destroyers for now. Alright, so we got the Matildas, we got light tank 2s. Now we get light tank... what are they called? SPGs, which is basically just self-propelled artillery. And then we'll research the next industry, concentrated industry. And then we'll get the next artillery, or the interwar artillery. Light tank 2s. Alright, 64%. Surely we can march on one of these and get 5%. 10%, that one. So with urge restraint, oh geez, 20%? That's actually painful. What about this one? What if we did 2 small ones? So if we did that one and that one, that would be enough. Now we can march on Dowling Street. Our march on Downing Street was a tremendous success. Under the immediate pressure of the people, Stanley Baldwin had no choice but to call for an immediate election. There was a clear victory for the right, and with the King's blessing, Oswald Mosley is currently forming his cabinet. In a statement earlier today, the new Prime Minister already announced sweeping economic reforms and a new approach to European diplomacy. In the meantime, dissent among dominions appears to be at an all-time high, and calls for independence have been louder. The next few months will prove monumentously important for the Empire. So now we gain weekly stability for the next year, due to Mosley being in charge. Problem is that we lost a lot of war support because of Mosley, which means we're struggling to hold our economy the way it was. Is there anyone that can give me more? Armaments, quartermaster, war industrialist. He gives me fascism, so I want him, but he's not. I don't think there's any way to get war support. Okay. No, that's fine. We'll just have to demobilize, I guess. That sucks, because building will be slower, but it's okay. We can live with it. Alright, so we got the light tanks. Now we're going to switch you over to superior firepower. And start doing doctrine. We're up to what, October 36? Cool. That works for me. Alright, so industrial effort. So good, now we don't have to worry about the marches. Industrial effort, let's get the research slot. Oh yeah, and also upgrade light tanks to SPGs and start converting from stockpile. Construction level 2. Now we can get construction level 3 and it'll only take 300 days because of the boost, which will increase our economy even further. Meanwhile, we'll grab that fascist demagogue just to get some stability in the party, which will help us have a bit more stability. Also, free factories, so keep building those until those states are all maxed out. And then we'll start building probably mill factories, I think. Anti-Comintern Pact, I mean, we don't like the communists, so why not? Yep, so QF 25 pounder guns. Let's research artillery too, because, you know, the earlier you get it, the earlier you can start implementing it. Now, one problem with going fascist is, like it said in the message before, the Dominions don't like it. Canada, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand are probably going to leave us, and I think India declares independence. But it's alright. In our focus tree, we have a way of dealing with that. So we'll go like this and organise our army. Grab Mr. Bernard Montgomery. Attack, except we don't want this guy because of his division recovery rate. He's just got a straight up 4 attack. And this guy's an infantry leader with 4 attack. Did I just click a different one? I did. It's meant to go this one. Alright. Well, we're up to 1937 now. So, thank you for watching. And in 1937, we're going to... What are we up to? Get a research slot, we'll do the Royal Ordnance, and I don't know. We'll do a bit more of the economic stuff, and then we'll move over back to the political stuff. So, bye for now. We're going to keep building up Britain, and next time we'll be stronger. Hey people, good to see that some of you made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this content, there should be much more like it on my channel. Feel free to subscribe to see some more. Check out some of my links in the description. I stream on Twitch 3-4 days a week. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put some links for some other videos on the screen that you can enjoy now. See you all in the next one, I hope.